Hello folks, I'm Ocir. Time to look at some more pictures. That's right, I'm out of clips. This time I'm going to try to explain the process of making a Larp all the way from ideas till finished event. By the way, I got myself an intro, check that out. Thanks to Supul for making that awesome intro. So yeah, this topic is a bit hard to explain because the detail of the process varies a lot depending on how much work someone wishes to put into it. So I'm gonna list a general process and not explain it too in depth, simply because then it would almost be like a tutorial of sorts, while the purpose of this video is to illustrate what making a Larp event includes. I might however split these different topics into smaller Let's Talk Larp clips later on though, if I feel the demand is there. Also from this point on I'm going to refer to the Larp event host as Game Master to make everything a bit easier. First off, the Game Master needs to settle down on an idea for the event, main outcome of the event, ideas for the universe or time of age of the event, and so on. Some Game Masters write all the characters or roles while other decides to ask the players to do this themselves. Then you have the rule system. It's always good to have in order. How many hits can the players take before going down, is there any spells, and so on. Before Game Master starts to buy in stuff like props or costume, etc., then a budget would be recommended. How much is the Game Master planning to spend? How big or small is the entry fee going to be? Then there is the area the event is planned to be played out on. Some are lucky to have nice areas available, while others might have to rent an area to hold the event on. Now, the Game Master has to make sure the time of the event works well with as many Larpers as possible. Many people, believe it or not, got jobs, school, family, and several other ways to spend their time, so this might be a tricky task to complete, but far from impossible. If needed, transportation could become an issue as well. The Game Master is not directly responsible for this part in my opinion, but if the players can't get to the location, then there won't be a Larp event to begin with, so most Game Masters should at least pay attention to this. And right before the event begins, the Game Master has to make sure the security protocols are in order. Safety is always important, not just because we are talking about Larp here, but because we're all humans and accidents could happen. During the event stuff might happen, like a player having to leave early, hiccups in the storyline that could pretty much pause the game, and so on. It is a good idea to try your best to prepare for these kind of things. After the event is over, the Game Master has to ensure that the area ain't left looking like a complete shithole. Pretty straightforward, but Larpers don't need to have the reputation on them for always leaving a mess around. Then comes the summary of the Larp event. Is there going to be a sequel to the Larp? What main story events took place during this event? And so on. And after that comes the budget status, I guess. How much did the Game Master earn or lose as a result of the Larp? Usually a Larp is not meant as any real source of income, but it is preferred to stay on the plus side compared to losing too much money personally over time. If the Game Master is planning to have more Larp events in the future, I would also recommend getting as much feedback as possible. There's usually room for improvement and there's always good ideas floating about waiting to be used. So yeah, that was pretty much the easiest and quickest explanation I could come up with. As you might understand, it is not unusual to have several Game Masters for one single Larp event to ease the amount of work on each Game Master. I have never made and hosted a Larp event 100% on my own, but I have been part of a Game Master team several times. It is exhausting but a lot of fun. At the end of it, I'm just thankful I ain't alone about it. Thanks again to Supul for the amazing intro and to Majin Crucifixes for suggesting the topic of this Let's Talk Larp video. Let me know in the comments if you want me to do a more in-depth explanation of the different stuff I have talked about here. I hope you folks enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like. If you want more, subscribe. I'm Ocir. Take care.